Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review as well as a demo of the brand new Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturiser Oil-Free Natural Skin Perfector, and I've got two shades to share with you guys today. So just an FYI, I am on Laura Mercier's PR list, which is why these were sent to me, and in all fairness, the shades aren't perfect for me purely because when I initially did join their PR list, my skin color was darker and now it's a lot lighter, and therefore both of these shades are a little bit deep for me, but I will be swatching them on my face just to share with you guys so that you can see what they are like. Now the reason why these are new is because they've got new packaging, because I don't know if you guys remember, the original doesn't have this kind of section, this clear bit over here which shows you what the shade is. It's normally just a one colored tube, and they've also extended their shade range. Altogether there are 20 shades. These retail at £36, which is kind of on the pricey side, especially for a tinted moisturizer. However, these are the standard prices when it comes to Laura Mercier. Laura Mercier is not a drugstore brand. I wouldn't really call it a high-end brand either. I'd kind of call it kind of a mid-range sort of brand. Just to show you the packaging, so it comes in a tube like it used to do. It's a little bit more streamlined, as you can see, and then you can see the color of the product itself. And then when you open it up on the inside, it's just a normal squeezable little nozzle where you can get your product to come out. The good thing about these kind of things is that once they do start to finish, you can cut them in half to get any kind of remaining product to come out. And this is also 50ml, which obviously is great. It's more than your normal kind of 30ml for foundations, meaning that the price of £36 make it seem a little bit more reasonable. So the two shades that I've got for you guys today is 4W1 Tawny, which is what I actually used to be, and 4N1 Wheat. This one is supposed to be warm toned and this one is supposed to be more neutral toned. And they also have SPF 20 in here, which is absolutely excellent, which obviously helps with additional sun protection if you need it. If you don't wear sunscreen, then you can at least have some sort of protection on your face. I've already got sunscreen on my face today, so a little bit extra won't make that much of a difference. Now, Laura Mercier is one of the first ever brands to come out with tinted moisturizers, and it has been around for 20 years, which is absolutely amazing. And I would personally say to this day, this tinted moisturizer is definitely still one of my favorites, and there's a reason why it has been around for so long. Despite the fact that so many brands have their own tinted moisturizers these days, Laura Mercier is still one of the best. So I'm just going to read a little bit to you from the information that I've been sent. So it says, recognizing the success of the regular tinted moisturizer, Laura Mercier developed a beloved oil-free formula that became an essential for anyone seeking a healthy, blurred and matte skin. Laura Mercier reintroduces the iconic tinted moisturizer oil-free SPF 20, the same great formula in new packaging with an expanded shade lineup that covers all skin tones from fairest to deepest, providing a perfect match for everyone. Now forgive me, I don't remember how many there were initially. It's just that I now know that there are 20 shades altogether. The secret to a sheer, shine-free, no makeup look, tinted moisturizer oil-free gives skin a soft focus effect, all while blurring the look of imperfections, pores and fine lines. All day lightweight hydration, never feels greasy or heavy while comfortably controlling shine with oil absorbing powders for healthy, blurred, matte skin. The tinted moisturizer oil-free is a cult favorite which provides demi-matte sheer coverage that instantly gives skin a soft focus effect. The oil-free hydration never leaves skin greasy or unbalanced. This lightweight, ultra-sensorial water breakdown cream provides the benefits of makeup, skincare and SPF in one step. The result is a multitasking blend of skincare and makeup that blurs imperfections with a sheer hint of coverage. Available from the 18th of June exclusively at John Lewis and nationwide from the 5th of July. What's today's date as I'm filming this? Oh, today's actually the 4th of July as I'm filming this. So by the time this video goes up, it will be available nationwide. So I'll make sure to link it below for those of you guys that are interested in this potentially. Right, so at the moment I've got my normal skincare on. The reason I look slightly shiny is I've got my sunscreen on as well. Now first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch these both on my face for you side by side. So let's start off with the first one, which is 4W1 Tawny. I'm just going to squeeze out a tiny little bit. The texture itself is just like a lotion almost. It doesn't run or anything like that, and it's not thick or difficult to blend. So there you can see is the shade Tawny. And now next to it I'm going to place this one, which is 4N1 Wheat. And there you can see what they both look like. Both very, very, very different. even though this one is neutral, and it definitely is more on the neutral side, I swear to me, or on my skin tone, it veers towards more kind of neutral, kind of olive. Whereas this one, it doesn't even look warm tone, it looks kind of very muddish on my skin tone, which makes me wonder that their range of shades is a little bit strangely described. And now you can understand why I have been actually using Wheat, which is the neutral shade, more on my face than that one. That one's more likely to make me look like I've got a really dodgy, patchy, weird kind of tan. Whereas even though this one, yes, it is a little bit deep for my skin tone, I can still make it work. Bear in mind, these are thick swatches, and a tinted moisturiser, you don't really go in with this amount in one area. You generally tend to blend it out. But this is just to give you guys an idea of what the two look like side by side. All right, so the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to prep my skin, and I'm going to use the Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer. This is the Perfecting Primer. This is silicone free. This is just your kind of standard everyday sort of primer. Let me just remove my nose stud first. And I'm just going to dot it all over my face. And then what I generally tend to do with primers is kind of like pat stroke rub it into my skin, but more kind of press it into my skin, because at the end of the day you want it to kind of fill out those pores. You want to look really nice and smooth, and any texture on your face, you obviously don't want it to be too obvious, and I have got textured skin. This primer is actually quite lightweight, and it's almost got a very watery kind of feel to it, because obviously bear in mind it's also got moisturizers, serums, toners and sunscreen underneath as well. So you just need to give it a few minutes to just kind of adjust. And already, that was really quick actually, it's just gone kind of tacky, which is what you need it to be. Remember, a primer is not a moisturizer. It's always good when it's slightly tacky, because that is what the base product that you apply on top of sticks to. Now, in my opinion, this is really good for sheer to medium buildable coverage. And obviously, the more you apply, the more likely the colour is to show itself in its truest form. If I go in too heavily with this, in terms of more medium coverage, what happens is then it becomes more obvious that this is not a perfect match for me. The brush I'm going to be using is this very stained looking, because it's stained, bloody Estee Lauder double wear, the Morphe M439 Deluxe Buffer Brush, which is my favourite foundation brush. But when it comes to tinted moisturisers, obviously you can use your fingers if you choose to do so. That means that you will get a little bit more coverage, because you won't be blending it out in the same way. If you use a brush, you're able to buff it in a lot more, or obviously you can use a damp beauty blender as well. It's completely up to you what kind of tools you want to use to apply this. It's all just down to the kind of coverage that you want and the kind of finish you want at the end. Okay, so there we have it, with one very, very, very light layer. You saw how much I applied. And if I had applied that much but with a foundation, yes, I would get a lot more coverage. But because this is a tinted moisturiser, it applies to the face like a moisturiser but with a hint of colour. So what it has really done is it has evened out my skin tone. It has made any kind of blemishes not disappear, but just kind of even them out and kind of make them look a little bit more soft, a little bit more blurred as well. Obviously, I haven't gone overboard with the colour as well, but I'm sure at this point you can probably see, if I go like this, you can see the difference between my chin and my neck, because I am actually very, very, very warm tone, and I am completely golden in terms of my undertone. Now, even though this is called 4N1 neutral, I would definitely say that this one is a lot more olive than it is neutral. But already, if you look on the screen, the way that I'm seeing it in my mirror, I can very easily see that my undertone is slightly off, but it just about works. And it will work especially when I apply my powder on top afterwards. What I'm going to do quickly is maybe just apply a tiny bit more just to my problem areas, which are here, which is where I've got more of the scarring that I had from spots when I was a teenager, any redness that I get generally, because when I get hot, my cheeks go really, really red very fast, and it is really humid in London today as I'm filming this. And I'm actually very warm in here too. It literally blends easily straight away. It's one of those products that is great for when you're in a hurry and you don't really have time to be blending out a lot. Because it's such a lightweight kind of product, there's no need to blend and buff and whatever. I'm just being a bit extra from my channel. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off the rest of my makeup off camera, and then I will come back and finish off this review for you, and then let you know whether their claims that they have given are actually true from my point of view. Okay, so I am back. The rest of my makeup, as you can see, is complete. Everything has been set. I set my face with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder in the shade medium. That way I was able to slightly save the colour. I mean, I can still personally tell that I look like it works, but I look like I've got a slight tan, which is bearable for me. And also I used the Laura Mercier concealer under my eyes. My shade is actually in number 2W. And then obviously when you pair it with 4N1, there is a very stark difference between the two, because I know that my skin color is actually in the 3 section, because obviously under eye concealers are supposed to be slightly brightening. However, I have to say that my skin feels lovely and soft. Personally, I would say this is something that you should set depending on how much you apply. Because I applied a little bit more than most people would when it comes to wearing a tinted moisturizer, that's the reason why I've had to slightly set it, because it doesn't actually ever dry down. It retains that semi-matte sort of finish, but semi-matte also means semi-glowy at the same time. So even though it is oil-free, the texture and the way that it's been made means that it's only semi-matte. Now, if you've got oily skin, obviously you may think, oh, that might not work for me. It's absolutely fine if you have got oily skin. I've got normal to combination skin, and I have found that this has worked perfectly fine for me, as long as I make sure to powder it down slightly. If I haven't got that much on, you don't need to necessarily apply that much powder. But if anything, powder just kind of sets it in place and stops it from moving around throughout the day, especially if you are out in humid and hot temperatures. Because when it comes to tinted moisturizers, they are great to use in the summer months. You don't necessarily want foundation on your skin. You've got a nice natural sun-kissed kind of glow, and what you're really trying to do with this is just to even out your skin tone. And obviously if you want to go in with a little bit more of a heavy hand, just bear in mind that the color will need to match you a little bit better. This is one of those products that is great for a 5-minute makeup look, no makeup look. It is slightly transferable, but again, that depends on how much you apply. If you apply a little bit, more than likely it won't really transfer much, because it's a moisturizer with color in it rather than it being a foundation which is pure pigment. One thing that I did notice is that after about 8 hours it has started to separate in the areas which were kind of my general oilier areas, because I've got combination skin. So it's around the chin area as well as this area near my nose, kind of the inner cheek part. But even though it had started to separate, it never actually got shiny. And again, I think that has a lot to do with the fact that this is oil free. 8 hours for a tinted moisturizer is actually excellent, considering it is a moisturizer with a hint of color to it, like I've already said. So the fact that it lasts pretty much throughout a whole working day, which it has been doing for me, which means in my opinion this works excellently as a tinted moisturizer, and definitely one of the best on the market for a reason. Now I'm just going to go back to what they've said. They sent me a little kind of leaflet rather than going on their website like I did earlier. So it says that it's got oil absorbing powders in it. Now I would definitely agree with that, because like I said, despite the fact that it started to separate, it never actually got oily throughout the day. Shine free, definitely. Oil free hydration, definitely. My skin feels hydrated, it feels nourished, and it feels moisturized. It's also got licorice root extract in here as well as vitamin E. And it says it also provides non-greasy soothing hydration. That's exactly how it is. Even though I'm applying technically a moisturizer to my face, it doesn't have that greasy kind of feel that a lot of moisturizers can have. It says that it gives skin a soft focus effect, all the while blurring the look of imperfections, pores and fine lines. I don't have any fine lines, but I've definitely got enlarged pores, which this definitely smooths out quite a lot. Imperfections, it really evens out the skin tone without giving that full coverage kind of look that you would get from foundations. So it looks like your natural skin, but better basically. Now they refer to it as blurred matte skin. Blurred, I would say yes. Matte, I would say no. I would call it a demi-matte finish. And if you really think about it, that's basically how a lot of people's skin normally is, or that's the way to have kind of healthy looking skin. Nobody wants to look too shiny and nobody wants to look too matte. We kind of want that nice in-between thing, generally speaking, obviously. Some people prefer to look very, very matte. Some people prefer to look really, really dewy, and that's completely fine. But the thing that I like about this is very much like your natural skin sort of finish. And it's even called Natural Skin Perfector, because it's basically trying to perfect your natural skin. I would personally give this a 10 out of 10. It's an absolutely excellent tinted moisturizer. There's a reason why for over 20 years this has been one of the best tinted moisturizers on the market, unrivaled by so many other brands that are out there. This is also a great product for those of you that are new to makeup. This is also a great product for those of you to use that are a lot younger. Obviously £36 is still quite pricey, but for those of you that are still a little bit afraid of using foundation because you think it's too cakey, it's too thick for your skin, you would definitely love a product like this. I also wanted to do a little giveaway for this other shade that I'm definitely not going to use, which is Tawny. Again, you've seen me swatch it it on my face. That's the extent of how much I've used this. So it is pretty much completely full. I'm opening up the giveaway to people only in the UK, just because it's obviously a lot cheaper for me to ship it out to people that are within my own country. Because it's only one product that I'm giving away, first come, first serve. All I want you to do in order to enter the giveaway is to write a comment below telling me something good, kind, nice, decent that you've done for somebody recently, and leave it at that. Whoever responds first will get this. I will contact you and you can send me your address and details separately. So that's it for my review of the new Tinted Moisturiser Oil Free by Laura Mercier. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you've got any comments or questions about this product, feel free to leave it below. Other than that, I hope you guys are great and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.